Hi everyone, this is Karak from ACG, and today I'm all gummed up in Bantha Poodoo as I bring to you the review for the rewarding, ultimately confusing, and massive game Disney Infinity 3.0. The only game out there right now that mixing the Lion King with Jedi just doesn't sound as odd as lightsaber-carrying men riding lions would be, but instead sounds really cool. This is a toys-to-life game in the growing pack of titles like Skylanders and LEGO Dimensions, and the aptly now titled Infinity, which likely represents the years you're going to need to afford all the content. So does Disney Infinity 3.0 continue on the heels of 2.0 with bigger, better, badder players and toy sets, offering a rewarding, got my money out of it theme? Or does it feel like nothing more than a cash grab like the last 20 years of Aerosmith? Let's check it out and see. The rating, as always, is going to be buy, wait for sale, rent, or never touch it again rating scale. Subscribe if you like the review. So this is it, Disney Infinity 3.0, sidekick, cash crops, Jedi versus superheroes, and enough downloadable user levels to make millions of hard drives suddenly cry out in terror, and then suddenly silence. Today, graphics are up first. I have to say the improvement from Disney Infinity 2 to 3 is about a 10 and gave me hope almost instantly that the ragtag way that Disney 2 and 1 would stutter and frame rate drop was a thing of the past, and for the most part it is. Where 2.0 had a tendency to absolutely collapse under what it was trying to deliver, 3.0 does more with less problems, that is. The frame rate isn't rock solid, but it's far more likely to stick in the good to acceptable range unless spawning in entire worlds, which is a resource-intensive job no matter which way a Jedi slices it. Every character from past and previous games is here, and with all their assorted wonder and style. Additionally, everything seems to have an extra sheen of graphics polish shown off in both the overall fluidity of movement, but also in the environmental effects and some locations in the toy sets and the smaller level builds. Jet setting your way from fan-made Donald Duck snowball fight legacy levels to Africa and the Lion King while switching between the Incredible Hulk and a young Anakin Skywalker is all handled as seamlessly as such a massive endeavor can be expected. And once again, location and level design is extraordinary, bar none. I would say that it's basically better than previous titles, but it's still hitting a couple frame rate pops when required to do particular tasks. Sound, music, and voice.
Purple sparks fill your special move meter. Collect purple sparks and spark capsules to allow your characters to frequently utilize their powerful special moves.
It was my pleasure.
As always, we hit sound up first, and can you really say about a game that cribs from the various facets of Disney culture and cartoons? These guys are probably hanging out just sitting on 10 billion terabytes of sound samples from Donald Duck farts to Thor belches, and it really shows. Sounds continue to be spread across the spectrum here, and when the game gets heavy on the action, and it often does, a gamer's rarely left without some kind of audio cue as to what's occurring as long as they can listen. It's great audio work, though I did notice a couple muddy sounds, especially in relation to older laser guns and a couple other legacy items. All in all though, considering the depth and breadth of content here, this is really excellent sound. Music. It's amazing. You know, one moment you're rocking out to battles on Geonosis and Star Wars themes, and the next you're running from wildlife in the Lion King or sitting and listening to the idyllic ambient themes of a forest gnome cottage. In these games, the music and themes of the various worlds and characters are at least half the presentation, and they flatly nailed it. There is not a single complaint I have throughout the entire music score. Voice. You know, once again, aside from the main level you get with the game, the stories don't have much voice except for a tutorial. What's there in Twilight of the Republic, which is the level I got with my starter kit, is passable but not excellent. All in all, it's not great, but it really is sort of brought down a bit by rough approximations of the original voice actors and main stars, and that hampers it a bit, but in the end, other than the occasional directions you're taking, you're really not discussing things. You're cutting people the heck up, and that sort of brings us to gameplay. The first thing, of course, in this game that you see is the tutorial and the toy box with its bevy of almost uncountable unlocks for you to create your own living and breathing worlds, with additional flexibility added by a new sidekick system. Think C-3PO, but worthwhile. Sidekicks can be outfitted outfitted, upgraded, fight alongside you, but more importantly, do things within the game world like maintain farms for food to upgrade and even be outfitted with builder's hats, which means you can set these little crazy dudes loose in a toy world with a hat and a wand, and within a short amount of time, they're going to end up building you a landscape. A good one? No. But it's a landscape. In fact, my little mentally challenged fox continued to build some kind of fantasy land and then inhabited it with Dark Age buildings all around him, effectively trapping himself and starving to death. Deleting his creations was easy enough, but he would just turn around and do it again as if he was frightened of the outside world. And I get it, because the outside world is huge in this game. First up, you have the main level, Twilight of the Republic. Those who sell their homes so they can buy the premiere edition of 3.0 can also get Rise of the Empire. Both levels play fairly differently, with Twilight being more connected and naturally cohesive with the recent cartoons, while Rise was more of an open world hub sprawl, so your mileage is going to vary on either, but the fact is, both are fairly massive, with Rise being the larger of the two, and Twilight being the gamier of the two. Now here is one place where 3.0 takes a massive step back. The package is just insanely lean. One game world, no discs, and two characters that are basically carbon copies and overall gameplay of one another. There's a reason Miami Vice didn't have two copies of Crockett. I mean, he was awesome, but Crockett without tubs is just deck shoes without socks, and that's straight up boring and a little bit creepy. Here the same thing happens with you running around with two characters and zero power discs. It just feels altogether lean, and the fact that the open hub world is only in the premium version right now means it hurts even more for those people who buy the general edition. Now luckily you can buy 3.0 various ways, digitally as a whole, digitally in various pieces, and upgrades from the past games. So it may not be wise to buy either the normal or the premium versions, and instead go for some kind of level pack connection of your own with a character or two and some of your old pals from previous games. And here too we run into some issues. Most everything works in 3.0, but older characters don't get upgraded skills, which results in you feeling like you showed up for the wrong Olympics and you need to be at the one where everyone gets a medal. Because the later characters are basically whirling dervishes of special powers and awesome might, and your older characters basically just sort of run around like little brothers. That being said, there's a lot to like here. The hub worlds drastically improved, both in overall ease of use, but also in its appearance, resulting in gamers new and old being able to jump into 3.0 with an ease that the prior games just did not have and basically had to dream of. There is an excellent connection to fiction here, with the world state looking far more natural as a hub world than the past titles, resulting in both a larger and more explorable location, but also one that offers its own hours of rewarding gameplay. Add in the tools and the various new ways builders can be used, and the somewhat still confidence-shattering building of toy sets, the game is coming closer to what Disney probably originally envisioned. And that, of course, brings us to fun factor. As this Infinity is based very closely with Star Wars, the first playset is Star Wars based, and rushing around leveling up Jedi is a thing of wonder. Sadly missing is most of the third-person aspects to the gameplay, and you're going to end up needing to buy an additional character because, again, many feel the same way. Also, the game continues to hold back at who can play in what fictional universe, removing that which makes Kingdom Hearts and other stretch fiction-based titles so powerful. I want to see Hulk smashing stormtroopers or flying a spaceship around Geonosis. It just has to happen at some point. So I rate games on a buy, wait for sale, rent, or never touch it again rating scale. This is a buy, but people. It's a great title, but since there's various ways to purchase it, don't spend more than you need to here, folks. And if you see a couple videos and want the open world stylings of the other set, basically, it'll be in normal level packs later and will be released separately. The game's strengths lie in the continual ability to use your prior characters with the current titles, but it also holds itself artificially back by negating special abilities on the oldest of characters and not allowing for playsets to be a mix of everyone doing everything. Fix those two things and a classic's going to be on your hands. So that's it for me. I hope you guys liked the video. I really enjoyed the game. If you liked the video, hit like, subscribe. If you disliked the video, always hit dislike. And remember, peace out.